I don't know if you guys know this, but for those who are listening, Amin has he's batting 1,000 on guests where he's like, we need to get this guy on. And every time you do this, Amin, when you go into the chat, you're like, we got to get this guy on. It's always been a banger every single time. So Taylor, welcome to the show, because Amin hit us up and was like, you guys got to watch these clips. And I've been obsessed with them ever since you sent that text to me.
I don't even know, like, everything always, this is the internet, right? Like, you discover things as you discover them, and they might have been happening for 100 years, or it might have just started. You never know. You just discover it, you're in it, now all of a sudden, like, this is one of the good things where the algorithm keeps feeding it to you. And so I'm trying to think, Taylor, what the first one I noticed. I think it was...
Was it Desmond Bain?
It was
the
Desmond
OG?
Bain. It was Desmond Bain, because I was deep in my Desmond Bain is my new favorite villain kind of phase of the season, where it's like he's just getting into everybody. And you had it, and at first I thought you were doing the stupid voiceover thing that everyone likes to do. Then I was like, no, I think that's actually what's being said. And then another video, and I'm like, yo, you're really accurate. It's not just it's good. It's accurate. And so, when did you learn you had this skill of being able to lip read and be able to kind of get the gist of what these guys are saying on the court?
So, number one, thanks for having me on, y'all. As far as learning that I can lip read, I didn't really know till I tried it. I know John Boy, I'm not the first lip reader, won't be the last, but John Boy is a huge inspiration, and he obviously has his genre, his niche very, very well picked out. So I was just throwing stuff at the wall as far as picking different video styles, and I loved his videos, and I was like, I'll give that a try, because at this point in time, I wasn't worried about growth, wasn't worried about views. It was just enjoy making the videos, because nothing at that point was really had any traction. So I landed on that. I was like, I'll give that a try. And there weren't many before the Desmond Bain one. I don't think, like, there was a Draymond one that got a little bit of traction. Nothing compared to what the Bain one ended up doing. But I just started doing it, and it's like, I wouldn't say that I am efficient at lip reading, because I mean, for one video, I sit there and I stare at it for two hours, and I'll kind of go through and, like, at the beginning, I split up and I color coded into all of the lip reading opportunities. And it's
lip reading opportunities. Okay.
Yes, like something that I might be able to do. And yes. And the first one's like, I feel really good about this. I feel pretty certain. I have a good guess. This is a guess. I'm not feeling good about it. And then I just don't know. That could be like, I can't see their lips, or I just have no guess. And so I still don't feel like I'm that great at it. I just feel like I take a ton of time to try to have a good guess. And that being said, I am not batting 1,000%. And I still get things wrong, but I am trying to, like you were said, be accurate. And whenever I put a voiceover, like I'm trying to do what I think they said, and so not put words in their mouth. And kind of the visual cue that I've been using as if I feel good about it, I put the subtitles on. And if it's me and making an inference or making an assumption, like sometimes it'll be, you're looking at the back of the ref's head and you obviously cannot see what they said. But like an example that comes to mind, Dylan Brooks, Jimmy Butler throws the ball at him. They call a delay a game, not a tech or a flagrant. And they're like, Dylan Brooks is widely upset about it. So there's a shot of the back of the ref's head. Can't see what he says. And then Dylan Brooks comes in and is like, how's that a delay a game? So I just make the inference. It's probably not exactly what was said, but trying to keep it in the spirit of what was said. And also trying to paint a picture of, like, when I'm watching it, not everything that happens is in the timeline ultimately. Like, you have to cut things out for pacing, and some things, like, they say more things, but maybe you're like, I think you're stupid, and then I finish my thought before, and then I respond. Like, usually I'll cut out whatever that was, because I think the spirit of the conversation and the flow of the conversation was really like, I think you're stupid, next idea. So I think my goal is to add some like yes character to it and make it entertaining, but try to keep it true to the spirit of the situations of what happened.
I mean, this is what I love about Tippernaught Sports. If you haven't started following, you got to. I love the videos because you really have a knack for storytelling, man. Because it's not just you're not just translating and lip reading. You're telling stories. You're like, oh, this happened earlier in the game, and this is why he said this. And then you'll have these little quips of like the Luka Garza's, where you're just laughing at Luka Garza, his reaction to a play that has nothing to do with the lip reading, but it's just funny. It's just really funny that you're bringing in characters to your storytelling. I feel like that's what takes you to the other level, is that it's a standalone video that has characters, it has drama, but you've like put in serious thought into how you're going to present this video. It's not just a straight lip reading exercise. And
that part, I do feel happy and like proud of that aspect of it, of like trying to tell a story. But honestly, at the beginning of every video, like I'm like, do I know how to do it? Like right now, it kind of feels like I'm just flying by the seat of my pants and, trying to be critical with it. But I don't feel like I have a good, I don't know, like fundamental behind it at the moment. But I am trying to make it it's a ton of short form content right now, but one long story arch. But at the beginning of every video right now, it's like, let's see if it happens. Like,
so beyond obviously being able to see them actually saying the words, what makes for a great Tippernaughts video candidate, right? Not the finished product, but like when you're saying, okay, I'm going to work on this one. What is it that kind of hooks you in?
I think obviously the lip reading opportunities. I've done a couple where there's minimal lip reading because I think it's still a good video. And when I posted, I can't remember which one it was. It was one where they got in a scuffle, so they didn't talk a whole lot. And I put in the comments, I was like, I know there's not a whole lot of lip reading, but it's still, I thought it was a good thing to make a video about. But I like things where people are animated or there's dialogue between people, in the sense of just where it's not a clean cut, like one-sided interaction. And a lot of times on my end, it ends up being one-sided because I can only see one of the people's faces. But I like that back and forth. Obviously, scuffles are kind of low-hanging fruit. And I enjoy doing them because there's a lot of side interactions that happen. Mm-hmm. But I really enjoy when, the refs make a questionable call and there's either people that are arguing for it or there's people on both sides. I think that's when it's fun, is when there's people on both sides. And with everything, it's like I'm kind of at the whim of, like, there could be a week where nothing great happens. And at this point, I have a ton of videos that I haven't been able to do. So there's a backlog, but it's like you're kind of at the whim of watching it and hopefully something high energy or controversial happens. Like just something with a lot of substance where, when you're going through and trying to make a through narrative, a storyline with it, you kind of can go a bunch of different ways. It's not just like one single thing, like line of thinking that you can go down.
Have you started a video and stopped because you're like, I don't actually think we should have this out there?
Oh,
so I think not from the sense that you were implying. I will say with Ja Morant, I kind of felt like his conversation with Vince Williams Jr. I felt like that going in, where it was a video from practice thing. Same thing with like Draymond and Jordan Poole, where it was like, I feel like I shouldn't be seeing this. And so I felt a little negative about that going in. But that one, interestingly enough, like I went in thinking that Ja was being a bad teammate, arguing. And then throughout the process, it like opened up. I was like, I feel like this is not what I'm like reading right now, is not what I have been, the noise that I've been hearing around it. So to your point, not yet.
That was a cool one because I found out, like, obviously we saw the argument. A lot of people seized on, I don't fuck with y'all or some shit like that. But the beginning of the video gave it a context that changed everything, which is he's trying to talk to him about how to run the play. right? He's trying to have like a basketball conversation with them. And Vince Williams is the one that's kind of like not staying on that topic. And so then it ends up being what it is at the end. And like, that's to me, I'm not just being nice because you're a guest. Like, that's the value right there, is that it adds a color and a context to a situation that, like you said, a lot of people probably already had a pre-existing kind of idea of like, oh no, this is what's happening. John's an asshole and he wants out, and that's it, right? Where it's like, no. There's more, all these things obviously are a whole lot more layered than what we would probably think at first glance.
Yeah, and that one specifically, like I'm almost certain that there are phrases and words that I missed in there, because whenever I was going through and making the timeline and kind of making my guesses at things, usually it's like I have a phrase, but there's a couple words. That one, it was like every phrase, I feel like I had like 4 to 5 different guesses on. But the beginning of it, where they were talking about the play, I felt pretty good about that. And so that kind of, I did that last, actually. So I had all these guesses where the tone was a lot more turbulent from Jaws' standpoint. And then I was like, let me go back and look at the beginning. And it opened up where they were talking about the play. I was like, hold on. That's on a different tone than where we got to like a minute later. So then I kind of took another pass and I was like, I think this tone is way different than people said. And again, I'm sure there are a ton of things I missed, especially on the back end, because what I like, the version I read, I think lined up, but there were also 3 or 4 other guesses that could have lined up.
Right.
When you're watching a game live, are you constantly like jotting down like 4:30 in the first quarter, LRO off the charts, or is it more of a like the jaw clip? I have to imagine you found through social media.
It was viral, yeah.
I literally requested that one. I went into his DMs, guys, and I was like,
"Did you?"
I was like,
the
dude,
shadow producer.
I was like, I can't wait for the jaw video, and I was that asshole who was like, yeah, be funny, comedian. I was like, yeah,
hey, tell this joke.
yeah.
So number one, thank you for sending it, because there have been some people sending different ones. Sometimes they send one where it's like I'm looking at the back of their head their whole time, like I can't do anything with this. I can't do it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Maze, what was your original
I guess
question?
I'm just wondering, like, are you watching a lot of games live, and is that where you're getting a lot of inspiration, or is it more of like what's going viral, what's already like clipped on the internet that attracts your eye?
So that's a good question. So I honestly, with these videos are taking me a lot longer than past videos that I've done. And as a result of that, I've had less time to just be a fan. So whenever I do intentionally sit down to watch a game, I try to not
try to clock off. You try to just enjoy it. Yeah.
And just be a fan. Cause this year, like I've spent more time editing, and to do that, I've had to pull from that bucket of time that I was watching. So I try to, when I do get to watch, just come at it, watch as a fan. Or honestly, a way that I've been doing it is if I want to watch multiple games, I won't watch it live. I'll watch it the next day. So I cut out all the commercials, and it's like a 48-minute experience. But as far as finding content, like I have the Instagram account that I try to only keep basketball, so that I can scroll through and, hopefully get a good idea of things that are happening. There's people like Tom had sent requests. Usually if it's something really good, I open up my inbox and there's a lot of people like, hey, when are you doing Ja Morant? And then also, there's different accounts that post controversial things, but they just post like the raw clips. So sometimes I'll look at those things, get an idea. And usually, like, I don't have the capacity or the bandwidth yet to do all the videos that could be done. So I'll write down, I'll spend a chunk of time researching and, scrolling through, finding videos that I think could work, and then kind of prioritize them. Like I don't know where I have this list right now, but however many videos, I'm like, this one I absolutely want to do. This one, if I finish it, and then, it's a lot of stuff gets left on the cutting floor. But to answer your question, I don't watch it live.
Well,
Although when something happens, I do.
What is your story? Because I feel like, yeah. What is your story? So you're a fan. You've been covering sports in the NBA. You've got all these jerseys in the backdrop. So I'm curious, like what is it like to kind of fall into what it seems like some real buzz and traction with this skill set of lip reading, when it seems like you have a back catalog of videos and breakdowns that you're like a high level NBA analyst. Like you really know your stuff, basically.
I would classify myself as not a seasoned fan. I think growing up, my household was more of an NFL household. So I didn't grow up watching that much pro basketball besides, like, we would watch college basketball. But so it wasn't honestly until college. And that was when, Steph and the Warriors, they were like, that was what made me fall in love with basketball. And now I enjoy watching them, but now it made me a fan of all these different teams. And I just like watching, good players. So that's kind of what got me into it. And roughly 3 years ago, we'll call it, I knew I wanted to do something along the lines of what I'm doing right now. The picture wasn't very clear, but I was like, I want to do something with that. So I started out, and it's evolved a couple times. I've done a ton of different video ideas, video styles. And the goal from the beginning, like, I wasn't putting a ton of pressure on figuring out exactly what I wanted to do, what style, what ideas. I was like, I just know I want to do it. Let's try out different videos, see what sticks, see what I enjoy. And that's kind of been at the center of all of it, is like, I want to enjoy the time that I'm spending doing it. And I can say I really do enjoy, like, this is one of my favorite parts of the week, is when I get time to sit down and do the videos. So, but with that being said, like, there were a ton of video ideas that I really enjoyed that just didn't do well. And it was like, all right, we tried it out.
So you have a day job? You say, like, you get time to sit down and do these videos. I feel like these take a really long time to
Yes.
break down these videos. So you have to carve out some time, quiet time, to just, like, literally listen, watch, and really be hyper focused for what seems like hours.
Yeah. And it's funny because I do have a hard time focusing on a lot of things, like one thing at a time. But I feel like when I sit down to do these, I don't have that issue, because I think I do, like, it's just one of those things. It's a creative outlet. And I feel like it's like, usually I'll make a cup of tea, make a cup of coffee, something, just like, it's a really cozy space in my life, honestly. So I'm trying to balance the other parts of not siphoning all of my time into it. Because I easily could right now.
For me, as I'm watching, it's like you're solving a mystery, which is really cool. Like, there's a crime scene, so to speak, and a crime happened, but I have to solve this riddle. And so when you get a video or someone saying, "Hey, check out this interaction with Draymond and Kat last night," that there was a conversation. That it made Draymond react this way and Kat say, "Oh, what was that?" So clearly there is some conversation, and it's just a mystery of, like, trying to solve what was actually said. And I find that, to me, that would be really exciting to have to go down that journey of solving that riddle.
And it is like like I was saying with the jaw, when I try to go in with an open mind of, you hear the noise about videos, what happened, but trying to go in with a blank slate and just be like, let's see what the lips, what they kind of unfold, and then let's look around the action. That's one of my favorite parts. I used to do more of it, of looking at the crowd and seeing, because there's a lot of, like, funny stuff that happens in the crowd that just I'm not hitting currently, but I do really
send
enjoy
you some
that.
Jade stuff. There's our former producer Jade. He would do a video, Taylor, where a crazy play would happen, like a game-winning shot, but all Jade would look at is the crowd reactions. And it would be, we used to do it at ESPN. It was called 17 Things You Missed. And it was just zooming in on random people in the audience doing funny things.
The Kawhi Leonard game winner against Philly, like that crowd shot was unbelievable. And it's not just the crowd, it's also, like, the players on the bench. It's like it's just these little things. It's like Tom said, it's same kind of spirit as what you're doing, but instead of lip reading, it's just the look at this person, look at this guy right here, spill his popcorn.
Yes.
Look at this
and
guy.
those are so real.
Yeah.
Like,
and this girl over here, she's looking at her phone.
Like,
she missed the whole thing.
She missed the whole thing. Yeah.
The courtside people on their phone, like, I'll sit there. I'll sit there and watch.
Yeah. So you're also trying to save for time for the video and fitting it in the algorithm where there's probably like 15 really interesting things, but you kind of have to edit it down to 3 so that it fits, how much of your time is thinking about what's going to fit the algo?
So at some point I would love to also do long form, and I'm trying to like slowly go into it, but where I'm at right now, it's like, if there's 5 videos that need to be made, I might not get all 5, but if I do short form, I can hit 2 or 3 of them. Whereas if I did a long form, like I'll be able to do 1. So definitely trying to get into that. As far as like fitting the algorithm, I feel pretty good about like going into a video and it being in the same realm or at least like adjacent to the style. So as long as it's in that lip reading category, I think it's it kind of stays in that same category. I think where I struggle is some of the context given to videos, because at the beginning I like giving a little bit of context at least, but sometimes there's a ton of context,
right?
And it's like I do want people to stay. So it's a fine balance of like, hey, here's some context, but really it's like the tip of the iceberg. Really, there's so much more that happened.
Do you do the little thing in the beginning where it's like whatever the hottest part is? It's like, like start, for instance, take the Ja video, for example. If you start it with him, I don't fuck with y'all, and then context and then the whole video, it seems to be like that apparently does really well. It's like it's a maybe not so much for the algorithm, or I guess the algorithm does like it, but it's more about like the viewers, getting them to stay, because it's like they come in and they see the climax that they all came for, but then you start going into the context and like, oh yeah, that's right, that's how it happened.
So there was I can't think of what the actual context was, but there was a Draymond one where he was skipping. Someone missed the free throws. He was skipping. Was that the? Or it was a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
Or a month ago.
He skips a lot.
I started with that. Was like, here's how do we get here?
Right.
But then some of them, like right now for YouTube, I have to fit it in 60 seconds. They expanded it to 3 minutes, but I'm trying to fit it into 60. And there are videos that's a great idea, like adding the bit at the beginning. And then some of them I end up with 1:30, and I have to go in and cut some parts that I really liked to get it out of the 1:30. Although I guess I could just do 2 separate. Sorry, brain's going. That's a great idea.
All good.
Die, man. Like,
I mean, there's all the tricks. There's the one that's like, I mean, I think it's probably a little hard to do for what you're doing, but the style where the video sets itself up to loop, because the ending is actually the beginning, and then by the time you get to the ending, then it started over again.
I always wonder how they do that. It's so seamless. And then whenever I see someone who doesn't do it seamless, I'm like, yeah, you don't.
It's harder than it looks. Yep.
It is. I feel like, I don't know how the people that do it all the time do that, because I've had a couple where it's like it kind of just goes into it. But I don't know how the people that do it all the time do that. That's a skill set in itself.
You've really made it when an NBA player reaches out to you, like, damn, you did get that right. Have you gotten any sort of close to that feedback where they're like, wow, he's actually really good at this. That's exactly what I said. Or a correction from an NBA player saying, I didn't actually say that, but we'll go with it.
Honestly, like, my bad. So this was right around the Desmond Bain and OG Anunoby one. Mm-hmm. And that one, like, context of that, before I posted that, it was like a month from now, maybe a month and a half, I had like 18 followers on Instagram. Like it was doing nothing. And it was just, I was like, I might as well post it there. I didn't for a long time. So I kind of went back and posted some old ones, and I posted that one, and it went from 18, like overnight, to 20,000. And,
wow.
Sorry, Winston from New Girl. I always blank on your name. Lamorne.
Oh, Lamorne. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel bad. He's just so ingrained in my head as Winston.
Winnie the Bish.
Yeah, I know. And he commented, and that was the first time that I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then shortly after, in the next week or maybe week and a half, I did a video of Andre Drummond when he tried to swing on Wendell Carter Jr. And he commented on that one, and he didn't say anything. He just put like laughing faces.
Yeah.
It's like, that's awesome. And people in the comments of that one were like, is that what you actually said? He never got back on that, but those two were probably it was really cool on my end, like Andre Drummond commenting on the video of himself. So that was awesome.
Do you have certain players that are really hard to translate or lip read?
So players, I do have a tough time with Jared Vanderbilt. I think he has, is it under or overbite? But basically he just doesn't move his jaw as much when he talks. So I have a really hard time with that one. And if someone is a foreign speaker, like their native language is foreign, I have a really hard time with that.
Like Luka with the money one, the contract one, was that difficult? Well, and Dennis Schroeder also.
So Dennis Schroeder in that specific clip wasn't as hard. Also, Jared Vanderbilt, if you watch this, that was a crazy straight. I'm sorry. But Luka, that one was the beginning of it. There was an audio clip that went with it. So it was like, I got the beginning from that, but the back end, it's like someone in the crowd is like, stop, Luka, or don't, like just screaming. I was like, can you shut up? So I didn't get the back end. So I got a starting point, and then I had to kind of work through it there. But yeah, one that I had a really hard time with was Thanasis. And
dude, I was about to say Giannis got to be the hardest one to lip read.
I
but
don't know if I've done a ton besides him booing, which was pretty.
Boo.
That was a layup. But there was one with Thanasis, and actually it might have been that same video where Giannis was booing, and I felt really good about the guess that I had for Thanasis. And someone was in the comments and was like, actually in Greek, he's saying this. And I had,
wow.
But I don't know if they were messing with me. I don't know if they actually knew that or not. Yeah.
Do you get excited to read the comments because you might, is it always just kind of a landmine where you're like, oh, I might get something wrong? Or I kind of feel like you might be like, oh yeah, that is the thing that I was trying to figure out. Thanks for giving me that tip.
Yeah. So number one, the comments and everything, I'm still trying to work out a good system of keeping up with that traffic. Cause I was not prepped or prepared for it.
Yep.
It just kind of got thrown in. So if I leave anybody hanging or anything like that, I'm working on getting better about that. But I do enjoy going in and people being like, I think he said this. And I'll have one or two reactions where I'm like, I actually feel really good about what I said still. Or like, oh, that does look like that. Like the most recent one, Kat and Draymond. Kat said front running. And I watched a video before I edited of Draymond saying Kat was saying I was front running. And then I went to do the script and I said something along the lines of, why are you doing all that fucking running? And then someone was like, he actually said this. I was like, that was a layup. But generally I do really enjoy people like telling me what they think I got wrong, so I can look at it and be like, that does make a ton of sense.
Because in a perfect world, it's like a community thing. Like we're all just trying to figure out what these guys are saying, and so we're all trying to be helpful in this regard. Versus like what the internet eventually evolves into, which is like, oh well, actually, like, that's the part that it's got to be hard to sift. And this is going to sound weird, but it's like this is the time right now where the majority, or you probably know better than I do, but the majority of the people seem to be very happy and supportive, and they just want the best version of this. And there will be a tipping point where that's not going to be the case. It's just going to be people who are just trying to be like, well, actually, and I think, and it's like, yo, it's not a competition. We're all in this together in that regard.
The comments being positive, my initial reaction kind of after the Desmond Bain and OG video, I was like, this seems a little too positive. Are y'all real? And I think like there probably are bots in there, but I think generally like a lot of the people have been really supportive and I appreciate them. And that's one reason why I do want to get better at figuring out a process where I can, reciprocate that support and that appreciation that they're showing. And like one of the comments on one of the recent ones, he was like, "Hey, he actually said this, but I love the video." I was like,
"That's great."
And
that's great.
So the support has been awesome, and hoping in the future to be able to reciprocate that to a lot of the people.
We've talked a lot about your process of getting the words right. Let's talk about the voice acting.
Yeah.
What has that been like?
Talent,
the
man.
evolution, like how do you feel you are at voice acting compared to where you started? How do you decide what tone? Do you do multiple takes? Walk me through that a little bit.
So that was probably the area that I felt the least comfortable in. And even when I was doing like one of the first sets of videos I was doing where I was just doing clips, and sometimes I would voice over like you're commentating on the clips. Even those I would listen back a lot and just, you don't like hearing your own voice. And I would listen to it and be like, that sounds either like when I get stressed out, sometimes I'd start talking really high pitched. So that's been something I've been trying to work on is, just talking with a more natural voice. And so I think I'm slowly getting better at it, of having an idea of what I want to say, the rhythm, the pitch, the kind of inflection. But that being said, I feel like I have to do a ton of takes and listen to it. And, like an example recently, I can't remember the exact phrase, but like, what are you doing? And
that's the one I was thinking about. What are you doing? Because it's slow motion. You're trying to also pace it to the video.
That one, there were some clips in there. Was that Cat?
I think so, yeah.
Where I was trying to make it zesty, but I just didn't have a good zesty voice to go to. And
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, not enough zest on that. It's Cat. Come on.
Someone commented, was like, this would have been way better if you did it in a zesty voice. I was like, I tried. That was my best take. So the voice acting, I think, is kind of a learning by rote. I'm trying to just, watch the takes a lot and try to be critical of improving the inflection in places.
I actually don't think you need to perfect that. It almost makes it funnier and better content that it's your voice.
That is your voice. Absolutely. I don't want you to be, Michael Winslow, the man of 1,000 voices or whatever. I like your voice doing it because I like thinking like just for instance, like Thanasis or OG Anunoby or any of these guys, but open their mouth, but it's your voice that comes out. It's kind of funny.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. What is the video, if you can tell us, that you really want to do, but it's like, oh, that is going to be my Mount Everest.
Let's see. So I'm hoping that it works out. There's an entire, and people keep messaging me and they're like, hey, you got to do some of the retro stuff.
Yeah. So there's such a catalog, a deep catalog.
So I'm hoping that I have the capacity to do that in the off season. And like, there's one from last year that it's on my list because I think it was great, is the Pistons and they just broke out in a massive fight. LeBron and Steph in the finals.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that the lip reading opportunities, but like Malice in the Palace would be a beefy one. But it's hard with some of the old videos because, there's just not the resolution.
Yeah, that's what
I'm already having to zoom in so much that, the resolution drops at all. It's going to be pretty tough on some of those.
On those old ones, do you feel that hearing what people already think is being said actually makes it harder for you to do because you're almost primed to think that's what happened? And whereas if it's new, you're going in with a clean slate.
Fresh eye.
That is a very interesting. I think if I went through and the narrative was different, I think it's probably baked into so many people that there's like, whatever. So that is a good point. But also some people just, even if it is the same thing, they just want to like go through that content again. Like I'm a huge nerd. I love like Marvel movies. and I'll go watch a movie, and then I love watching a breakdown after, and it's literally just saying what the movie said. Like, it's no different. So I think a lot of people might enjoy that, but I'd be curious if any of those situations, those retro kind of videos, if anything would come out way different or not.
Ooh, yeah. Like if the common telling of the tale is actually not, maybe not contradictory, but maybe not including some things that are being said in that moment,
like a little context here and there.
I gotta think that Gary Payton has to be one of the easiest lip reads ever. Like that's like him and Draymond, like because they open their mouth so wide every time they talk. I'm like, oh yeah,
the jaw movement, because that's what sometimes if you're looking at like the profile, the jaw. I could be incorrect here. I'm not a professional, but I feel like the jaw movement helps out so much. That's why I was saying Jared Vanderbilt. I have such a hard time. Again, not that Jared Vanderbilt, but. Steve Kerr does the same thing. Like, he opens super wide. Yeah, I love voicing over Draymond.
Steve's the easy one.
Like, he puts it out on a platter.
Yeah, that and his body language too. Like, even beyond just the lip reading, it's like his body language was like, "What the fuck was that?" Like,
no, those between those two, Draymond and Kerr, like, they give some layups.
I'll give you another one. Nick Nurse is another one where it's like
very demonstrative. Yeah.
There's some stuff from the bubble. There's some stuff from the bubble I remember where it's like, he was just so out there. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
and that one, like, they have some close-ups. Like, there's nothing else for the cameras. They have some great videos. Bubble Nick Nurse. I'll check those out.
Okay. When you see LeBron or whomever hold their hand over their mouth, do you get like an extra dose of, I'm going to figure this out? Like, you think you're hiding it, but I'm going to figure this out. Do you get extra excited for those?
I do. There was one with Wembanyama, and blanking on who he was with, but he was like, he started here and then he just kind of moved it. I was like, but then ultimately, like, I wasn't able to do anything with it.
I'll tell you my favorite, Sean Payton in the NFL. If you ever cross over, he does this where you put the thing, but he's so bad at it. He's got it down like here, so it's like his mouth is just open, but he's holding it up like I'm like, this isn't fooling anybody, Coach.
I wish we had the clip of Ja when he is in the stands and he like puts his hand up and then they cut to a new angle. I wish we had some of that. Like, give us one more angle.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he was, well, I guess it's a little different, but COVID must have really killed this because people were wearing masks all the time.
Oh.
You wouldn't be doing lip reading as much, but in NBA games, I guess they're all unmasked.
That's a great point.
I feel like it's destiny that your stuff is taken off right now. And we're along for the ride. We love this stuff because it is secrets. We were talking about this last week. Is this show is all about the secrets of the NBA and the shadowy parts of the league, and you're filling a gap where I remember during COVID, they were trying to get, hey, we're in the bubble. How are we going to juice up or gin up some of the excitement about the bubble? Oh, let's put microphones on the court and we can hear what everyone's saying. And part of me was just like, I don't think the NBA Disney properties are going to be down for that. But there is a space for what you're doing, which is really funny interactions, scuffles, or just funny interactions in general. Like the Jaylen Brown, Anthony Simons one was classic where,
I'll go with the J Huff, Derek Queen one. Where J Huff just looks at him like, tee him up, man. And them hearts in the back like, tee him up.
Yeah, where it's like, this is like
harmless. Yeah. It's harmless fun.
So, I think what you're doing is awesome and keep going as long as you don't go insane with balancing everything. Cause it is awesome. It is really fun.
I appreciate hearing that. And right now it is not obviously it's draining in the sense of like you're spending time and energy, but I feel, fulfilled and I enjoy the time spending it. So right now it's a big plus in my life.
Do you ever use your powers in real life, people watching?
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm not a great lip reader in real time.
You've got to be better than the average person. You've been working on it. You've been honing your craft.
I can get a good F-bomb, and that's about it. Like that one you can see. Other than that, my processing speed is, I got to watch it 50%.
We had, I just watched Rainbolt on Pablo's show, and Rainbolt claims that he isn't really all that talented. Like, he doesn't really have a skill. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's insane. He's
humility,
like, no, I just,
you know?
Yeah, but Taylor's saying the same thing, which is like, I'm actually not that great at lip reading. I just feel like I really enjoy doing these videos, so I just have a lot more reps. You're just being humble. That's all.
I was actually going to bring up Gio Rainbolt because he also was inspired by the Steph Curry Warriors. And so I'm wondering, you know, we give Steph a lot of credit for teaching kids to chuck 3-pointers from half court, but was he also like the spark for a whole generation of online content creators unknowingly?
I think maybe because with him, I think what's so awesome about him is he's awesome on the floor, but his off the floor demeanor matches that. And
he's always chewing on the mouthpiece, though. It's going to be tough.
But I think with him being so wide loved, like I can't imagine that I'm the only person in the situation where, you know, whether the NBA was in my periphery or I wasn't a fan before, or I was, but just not a whole lot. I can't imagine I'm the only one that, you know, was affected in that way by obviously other people, but like leading that charge stuff. So I would imagine that a lot of fans and content creators like were probably pushed in that direction or encouraged in that direction by Steph. And you could probably pick out a million players, other franchises, but you know, for a lot of people that is Steph.
All right. Well, as we wrap up here, Maze, we got to go into our archives and see if we can get any film at our live shows of Amin and I or someone off to the side chatting, and we'll have Taylor
in the wings.
Yeah. You know,
we cannot give Taylor off camera, like in the background Waz footage. That is not going to be a good thing.
We can't have him doing Waz.
Send it my way.
Yeah, that's going to be put away in the vault for sure.
I won't put it out there. I'll send it right back.
Plug your stuff. Where would you like people to follow your work? It's great.
Wherever you see it. Right now it's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Instagram and YouTube, kind of where I'm putting the most energy into. So if you see it on there, interact with it. And I'll try to keep improving on interacting, showing some love back.
That's Tippernaught, TIPPERNAUGHT Sports on Instagram and YouTube. Dude, this was great. Thanks for hopping on with us, man.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for having me on.